Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Amma ba'du. Then we have reached Al-Hadith al-Rabi wa Khamsun ba'da miyatain, the 254th Hadith, which is the last Hadith in the book of Hajj. And with this Hadith, we will have finished the section, the Qism al-Ibadat. Al-Qism al-Ibadat, the section on acts of worship. And the books of Ahkam are usually divided into Ibadat and Mu'amalat. Mu'amalat is the interacting with each other amongst the people. Marriage, divorce, foods, laws, inheritance, and so on. These things which have to do with interactions between the creation of Allah. The first section, Salat, Tahara, Zakat, Siyam, Hajj. This has to do with one's relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so this hadith will be the end of the Qism al-Ibadat, and we'll move on next to Kitab al-Buyu', the book of business transactions, buying and selling, inshallah ta'ala, and that will be the remainder of the book. With releasing one hadith a day should take us into October, maybe close to November of this Gregorian calendar. Should take us well into the first couple months of the Islamic year 1446. And I recommend that you do one of these videos a day, and in a little over a year, 16 months, or 13 months, not 16, 13 months or so, you will have completed the book Umdat al-Ahkam, and take notes and read it, and until you understand it, inshallah ta'ala, and like this, you will learn the Arabic language as well as your religion. This hadith we have in front of us, the 254th hadith, Hukmu Akilil Muhrimi Min Sayyidin Halalin, the ruling of the Muhrim eating from halal game, halal hunted animals. And this is the same basic chapter title as we had in the last hadith. However, the hadith is different, as we will see. And the author, Muhammad Fareh, he explains, Wa'il al-Fuhayd, I said Muhammad Fareh, Wa'il al-Fuhayd, he explains the difference or the contradiction that will appear in these two hadith at the end of this hadith, inshallah. An As-Sa'b ibn Juthamata al-Laythi. This hadith is on the authority of Sa'b ibn Juthama al-Laythi, radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him, annahu, that he gifted ila nabiyyi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, to the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, himaran wahshiyan. He gifted him this wild donkey. وَهُوَ بِالْأَبْوَاءِ أَوْ بِوَدَّانِ, and he was in Al-Abwa, which is a place, or Waddan. He was in one of these two places when it took place, when this happened. فَرَدَّهُ عَلَيْهِ, so therefore radda, he returned who? Raddahu, he returned it, alayhi, to him. فَلَمَّا, so when ra'a ma fi wajhi, when he saw what was in my face, what was on my face, meaning I gave him a gift, he returned it. Be disappointed, give something to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Qala sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, inna, indeed we, lam naruddahu, we're not returning it, alayka, to you, illa, except anna, we are hurum, we are in ihram. We are in ihram. وفي لفظ لمسلم, and the wording, and in a wording that is with Muslim, رجل حمار, he gave him أهدى إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حمار وحشي, أو أهدى إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رجل حمار, he gave him a foot. أو في لفظ شق حمار, or the shin bone. وفي لفظ, and in another wording, عجوز حمار, the rump of this animal. So in one narration, he gave him, in the main narration here, he gave him the animal, but we know he didn't probably give him the whole animal. He probably gifted him the foot or the shin or the rump. من فوائد وأحكام الحديث, from the virtues, benefits, and rulings of this hadith. أولا, firstly, عظم قدر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the great status, qadr, position, status of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, wa manzilatihi, and his manzila, his position or status. Qadr here could be the respect or honor that they hold for him, and manzila is position. Fi qulub ashabihi radiyallahu anhum, in the hearts of his companions. So you see in this hadith the tremendous honor and status that the Prophet ﷺ had in the hearts of his companions, meaning they would just slaughter and gift him. And secondly, hillu himar al-wahshi, the permissibility of this wild donkey to be eaten. Thirdly, tahrimu akli lahm as-saydi, the prohibition of eating meat of game, al muhrim, for the one who's in ihram, bihajjin or umratin, making hajj or umrah, this person making hajj or umrah. And this is in opposition to the hadith we had earlier, as we'll see how the scholars explain it. Rabi, and fourthly, wujubu radd al hadiyya, wujub, the obligation of radd al hadiyya, returning the gift. إذا كانت, if it, la tahillu, is not permissible, lil muhda ilay, if it's not permissible for the one who it was given to him. So he gave him a gift that was not permissible for him, so he returned it. Al muhda ilay is the one who it's given to. La tahillu lil muhda ilay is not permissible for lil muhda ilay, the one who it's given to. Khamisan, fifthly, mashru'iyatu dhikri sababi raddiha, the legislation of mentioning the reason for returning it. Lil muhdi, to the one who gave it. Al muhda ilay, the one who it's given to. Al muhdi, the one who gave it. Liyazula, in order to remove, from zaywal lam, zawala, to remove. لِيَزُولَ مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ, in order to remove what might be in his heart. Sadisan, sixthly, حُسْنُ خُلُقِ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the excellent manners of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, وَمَرَاعَتُهُ or مَرَاعَتِهِ, and his observing لِنُفُوسِ ummati, at the people of his nation. He looks after them and considers their souls and what they think about. Nufus, you could say soul here, but that doesn't necessarily mean the right thing. You're looking after their feelings, kind of. Mu'arada wa jam. Mu'arada, from Ain Ra Dad, here means contradiction. Wa jam'un, and a reconciliation, a bringing together of the two texts. So how do we look at them when they seem to be contradictory? He says, هذا الحديث, this hadith, يعارض hadith Abi Qatada as-sabiq, this hadith contradicts the hadith of Abu Qatada as-sabiq, the previous hadith of Abu Qatada. قبله, before it, meaning before this hadith. حيث, where أكل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم ate, وهو محرم, he ate from the, while he was in ihram, min himar al-wahsh, from the wild donkey, alladhi sadahu Abu Qatada, which Abu Qatada hunted it. وامتنع في هذا الحديث, and he refused or ممتنع here to refuse في هذا الحديث, in this hadith, من الأكل, he refused to eat مما صاده الصعب ibn Juthama, he refused to eat what Asab ibn Juthama hunted, وأهدله, and gifted to him منه, from it, وعلل ذلك, and he gave the reason, علل, he gave the reason, ذلك, for that, بكونه محرما, because he was a muhrim, he was in ihram. The first hadith, he was in ihram, and he ate from what Abu Qatada hunted. In the second hadith, he was in ihram and he did not eat. He refused to eat what was hunted by Asab ibn Juthama because he was in ihram. So, what is it? Ajab al-Jamhur, the majority of scholars have answered, al-Jamhur, the majority, بأن أبا قتادة لم يصده للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. The majority of scholars say that Abu Qatada did not hunt it specifically for the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فأكل منه, so he ate from it. أما صعب ibn Juthama, as for Sa'b ibn Juthama, فصاده للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, then he hunted it for the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. فلم يأكل منه, so he did not eat from it. So this is one way of the scholars looking at the hadith. Abu Qatada did not do it for the Prophet ﷺ, nor necessarily for the other people in ihram, but he hunted it for meat, for himself, and they took in it. They didn't point it out. As for As-Sa'b ibn Juthama, then he hunted it specifically for the Prophet ﷺ and those who were with him making this Umrah or Hajj. وذهب بعض العلماء, and some of the scholars have went إلى الأخذ بحديث الصعب. They have went to take the hadith of Sa'b, meaning they have held the position of the hadith of As-Sa'b لتأخره, due to it coming later. وَلِأَنَّهُ, and because it أحوط from ha wa ta, because it is safer. Because it is safer. فقالوا, so they said, لا يأكل المحرم, the person in ihram does not eat, مما أهداه له, from what is gifted to him, غير المحرم, by someone who is not in ihram, من لحم الصيد, from meat which was hunted, from game. So some scholars say the hadith of As-Sa'b ibn Juthama came after the hadith of Abu Qatada, so we're going to go on it and basically abrogate the hadith of Abu Qatada. And because this hadith is also safer, so therefore the person in ihram does not eat from the meat which was hunted. هذا والله تعالى أعلم وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.